Hi, I'm Johnny. I'm a global artist ambassador for FENIX360, and I'm joined today by the visual artist and photographer, Kendall Hill. Hello, Kendall. How are you?
Good. How are you? Hello. Hello.
I'm doing real well. Thank you for joining me. I appreciate you, man. Hey, listen,
Yeah.
I would love to tune into some of the photography work that you've done, Kendall. Is it okay if we take a look at some of those images right now?
Yes. Let's do it.
All right, dynamite. All right, let's take a look at some of the photographic work from Kendall Hill. Kendall, beautiful man. I love to, and I'm enjoying seeing your work. And now I'm interested in learning about you. Can you tell me where are you from and how did you become a multidisciplinary artist and photographer?
Yeah. So I'm from Chicago, Illinois. I was born and raised here. Since I was younger, I've been doing a lot of spoken word things. I was involved in the arts more in a literary sense.
Uh-huh.
And as I got older and explored my own interests, I started doing photography and gallery work photography specifically, right? So now I am a photographer still in Chicago who works in the fine art field and also does commercial works for clients such as, Amazon or Mount Sinai or different galleries and whatnot around the city as well too. So
Wow, that's brilliant. I appreciate it, Kendall. I know, it's interesting how, your initial artistic impulses were through the written word and through your writing. And then it should gravitate you into a visual medium. So did you
yeah,
discover a camera, like, you know what I mean? You took your dad's camera out or something like that? What got you involved in images?
I actually didn't start doing photography until I got to college. I was in college for something completely different, and I just picked up a camera because it was a lot easier to, as I was making friends, just like adjust in some ways if you had like photography as a way of communication and just kind of like breaking down social barriers. And
Uh-huh.
that's kind of the first time I really picked up a camera in a creative way. So it was a little bit later in my life, but I had so much visual kind of like know-how just from the way that I wrote stories, and I'd done every type of writing under the sun. So just the way that I was using my writing called for images. And that was another reason too, is that I kind of thought that my writing wasn't doing as much as it could. Like I wanted to explore photography so I could paint some of those pictures that I already was making.
Wow, that's really interesting. I mean, it sounds to me like the depth of your imagination is really strong, and actually that writing helped you to develop that storytelling capability and kind of picture
Really.
development. And then now you translate that same understanding into actual the visual medium, so that your photograph tells the story. So I think
Totally.
that's really cool, Kendall, and I get it. And you're doing it really well. So let me ask this question now. Were there other photographers or visual artists or even writers that inspired you, that made you want to become an artist yourself?
Yeah. So, I mean, I always say I'm a film photographer too. So a lot of the people who inspired me from the get-go were people who were on the more artistic side of it. Names like Kari Fagan, he was one of my first favorite photographers back way back in the Twitter days. Tyler Mitchell is a really great photographer. The Esther Gates, who is a Chicago artist. He doesn't do photography, but he's a visual media artist. He's also another great Black artist. People like um, C.Y. Twombly, like a lot of artists from the Black diaspora were the first people who were really inspiring me. Also like Nan Golden, people who make intimate types of work, Diane Arbus, those photographers too, people who are making very emotional types of photography.
That's cool. And I also appreciate the education and also the ability for our audience to be able to discover and learn about these photographers.
Yeah,
The
definitely
field
look this
unto its
up.
own, an art field that, you have great depth and knowledge of. But all of us, you know what I mean? We just see the images, and a
Totally.
lot of times we don't realize the art behind it.
Yeah, I mean, art sometimes gets like a bad rep in some ways when it comes to fine art because gallery spaces are inherently, have been historically elitist and also have been, you know, a little bit unwelcoming to all types of people. But at the core of it, there is a lot of history and there's a lot of places to explore and expand on, you know, knowledge that is already there, and also to come into those spaces and rewrite narratives too. So I think that right now, more than anything, is a time for like unrepresented voices in the art world to become more appreciated and start making their names in a space that historically wasn't for people like them or like us. So I really appreciate art's ability to change with the times and to also have an understanding for different cultures as time goes on.
No question. I think art connects us. And
Totally.
that's a beautiful aspect of it in so many forms that it takes and affects us from a cultural perspective, no matter what culture you're from. And when you blend these, there's a real sense of brotherhood, connectedness, one love,
Totally.
spirit when you're in a state of gratitude. So
Mhm.
here's something else, Kendall, and I appreciate everything you just shared. What are you working on right now? What's coming up?
Yeah, so if you're in Chicago, I have a show in Chicago beginning at the Arts Club of Chicago. It's the 90th members show, and I'm a member of the club. So we'll be having a show starting February 10th of 2022 and going until March 10th.
Wow.
It's going to be right in downtown Chicago, a really nice location, amazing history to that space as well too. And it'll be a really nice big group show, not just my work, but you know, probably 50 other artists. So definitely come and check that out. That will be a good one coming up in Chicago in the winter.
That's great. Okay, well, then I want us all to be informed then by your social channels moving forward. And we're
Mm.
also going to be looking forward to you coming up on Phoenix 360, Kendall. So
Yeah,
everyone,
definitely.
please tune in to the social media channels for Kendall Hill below. And we will also look for him coming up on Phoenix 360. And thanks, man. I appreciate you, bud. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for having me. This is awesome.
Yeah, it was really nice to share your voice and discuss your art form. And I appreciate that you're kind of leading in this space and collaborating with all these other really talented artists. And you're a great ambassador for arts in general. Thanks, Kendall.
Thank I
Take care.
appreciate it. Thanks so much. Thank you.
Thank you, buddy.